This video is brought to you by System76 and Samsung. Now through September 10th, you can save up to $310 on an AWS for System76's back to school sale. No promo code required, just head to the link in the description for a truly classy computer. Hey everybody, it's your friend and your guy and your favorite inspiration, Gardiner, the Linux gamer. This video would not be possible if it weren't for my 157 generous, amazing, and awesome patrons over on Patreon. If you believe in the work that I do, you can help support this show just like Glenn Steen has here. Glenn, your support is truly humbling. If you're watching through this video and I say something that you like, you can hit that like button, it really helps the show out. You can also subscribe to see more shows just like this one. You can also support the show over on LBRY, beta.lbry.tv/@thelinuxgamer. This is a new episode of DistroQuest. We're going to do these from time to time from now on. Doing them is a lot of fun, but I also kind of get burnt out when I'm doing DistroQuest, as like a week-long thing. So instead, I'm just going to do a DistroQuest every now and then. It just so happens that I have a System76 laptop here and it has PopOS installed. So I decided I'd go through and give this laptop and PopOS a run for its money. Now, if you haven't seen it already, we're doing a giveaway for this specific laptop, the System76 Adder workstation, or the Adder WS. And if you want to win this laptop, there's going to be a link up here in the corner. There's also going to be a link in the description and maybe even a pinned comment where you can get a code to enter into this giveaway. The giveaway is free to enter. Just follow the scavenger hunt details on the page. So find one of the codes in the comments, in the description, or up in the little card tray up here, and head over there and sign up for this giveaway. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I wanted to talk about PopOS, and PopOS is really an Ubuntu-based distribution that's made by System76. It ships as the default Linux install for most of their machines, and the distro has many features that actually set it apart from Ubuntu. So you can actually pick which distro you want pre-installed when you order your machine. So let's go over to the PopOS website and see what they think the defining features of their operating system are in their own words. We believe the computer and operating system are the most powerful and versatile tools ever created. We're building an OS for the software developer, maker, and computer science professional who uses their computer as a tool to discover and create. So one of the things that they list here is that development is a first-class citizen. So what do they mean by that? Well, PopOS supports a litany of tools and programming languages out of the box. These are native programming tools. So if you do something like Python, you got Python, and that's a non-trivial thing to get running on Windows. You know, you want Rust or C or any of these programming languages. It's all available for you to develop with on PopOS. In many instances, PopOS has more up-to-date packages than the upstream does, which is Ubuntu, and that's pretty cool. But there is an issue with that. The first thing is that tools that I use are not necessarily available on PopOS, at least through their repos. If you want something like KdenLive, which is the open source fork of VS Code that doesn't have telemetry, then you're not going to be able to find that in the repository. You're going to have to install it from the KdenLive website. And perhaps it's not in the repos because KdenLive is an Electron app, and I know that some of the guys over at System76 don't like Electron apps. I don't really like them either, but KdenLive is really the best code editor that I've ever used. And the fact that it's not available and has to be installed as a deb package, I'm going to dock it half a point. So another feature that I just realized I'm not wearing my headphones. Oh, there we go. That's so much better. So another thing that they mention on their website is that PopOS has encryption by default. You can encrypt your home directory. You can encrypt your entire volume out of the box if you want to. You don't have to. I find that I am really bad at remembering things, and so I'm not going to do that. I actually went into the virtual machine and installed PopOS in a virtual machine with full volume encryption, and then I forgot what I set the password to. So, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that I just am not going to do, but that's really cool that they allow you to do that out of the box. It was a little too easy for me to do that, and I don't know if, end users are going to necessarily know what the implications of that are. So I don't know, but the fact that it is easy is pretty cool as well. Also, the fact that out of the box you can set that up, and the fact that the private key is generated once the machine is in your hands, that is a real that's a real kicker of a feature. I think I like that a lot. Another feature that they list on their website is that PopOS includes TensorFlow CUDA workflow in their repository, while Ubuntu doesn't. That's pretty cool. I don't have much use for it. I tried setting up a facial recognition system on my server in order to do like facial recognition in my Nextcloud photos. It didn't really work super great. It ended up working, but it wasn't very good at like grouping faces or anything like that. I don't know if I had enough photos to actually train it. I'm not sure what was going on there, but the fact that this includes TensorFlow in their repository, that's pretty cool. So the last thing that they mention on their website is aesthetic. They don't say aesthetic per se. What was the word they used? We're focusing on you in a different way than anyone else. Our approach centers on user testing and careful analysis with a singular goal of delivering the most productive and gorgeous platform for developing your next creation. It's not just about making the easiest tool, it's about making the best tool, and we're just getting started. So they're talking about like having the operating system get out of your way. They're talking about having the platform be gorgeous. And I have to say that I really like System76's branding, but at the same time, I find it rather reprehensible to be hacking custom CSS into GNOME. People calling it themes. Themes don't exist on GNOME. They really don't. There's a CSS engine that applies CSS, custom CSS that's meant for developers to style their own apps, not for styling the global application space. And so I'm torn about this. I actually installed Cura. That was one of the first apps that I installed from the Pop Shop. And Cura was fairly broken from a UI perspective. The buttons didn't have labels on them, and they were like maybe 8-10 pixels wide maybe, and they just did not look right. I mean, it was unusable. And I can't squarely place the blame for that rendering issue on the System76, the PopOS theme, for lack of a better term. I'm not sure what's going on here, but it's not a good look. I really like PopOS. I like the look of PopOS. You definitely can tell when that it's a System76 operating system when you're using it, but it also breaks things. And if you're going to apply a custom theme to GNOME, you might as well fork GNOME. Because it's a fundamentally different project when you change from Adwaita, or however you pronounce it. Anyway, that's enough of me preaching. So I want to talk about a couple things here. The first thing is the installation process. Now, there are two ISOs that are available for download on PopOS's website. One of them ships with the Intel and AMD graphics drivers, and the other one ships with Nvidia's drivers as default. So my question is this necessary, right? As far as I know, they're the only distribution that does something like this. In Ubuntu, it's as easy as checking a box after the fact, after you've booted up. But there are problems with like the likes of Ubuntu where the system just does not want to boot if you have an Nvidia card and you're using certain kernel versions with certain versions of the open source Nouveau drivers. So I don't know what the answer is here, but this might be a good option, actually, now that I think about it. I don't know what the correct answer is, but if it can avoid the problem of having to add like kernel arguments to the boot process, that would make it easier for end users. So if you have an Nvidia card, just download the Nvidia version of PopOS. So the installation process, I actually really like. I really, really like the installation process. There's a ton of synergy between System76 and the Elementary OS team. Elementary OS is awesome, and the installation process for PopOS is shared between the two projects. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. I like the installer too. It's well branded. And honestly, I feel like this installer would be less intimidating to a newcomer to Linux than the likes of Ubuntu's installer, which is on its own, pretty decent. Not very intimidating at all, I would say, but this seems just so much simpler. There's just 2 little buttons, click, 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 you're done. So I love this installer. This is really great. And I feel like this is especially noteworthy since this installation process is part of an OEM's distro. So how often will end users actually see this? How often will they have to actually use this installer? That shows that System76 has a real attention for detail, and they care about making this not just their own distribution, but a distribution that's worthy of the community. That's really cool. The next thing I want to talk about is the Pop Shop. Now, I am infamous for my belief that basically the defining feature of most operating systems, most Linux-based operating systems, is the package manager. And what we have here is an Ubuntu-based distribution. That means that they are running apt as their package manager. However, the package management here really shines when you get to the software center, the Pop Shop, as they call it. It's cute. It's fully functional. Being able to find and install and manage the applications you have installed, that's excellent. It works just as you would expect. Being able to customize repos and your software sources and managing updates, these things all just work great, and they work out of the box. They work as you would expect. I feel like they work better than what you would see in Ubuntu. I haven't used the latest version of Ubuntu, but this just feels excellent compared to what I've used in Ubuntu's Software Center. I really like the categories of software, and it's cute. It feels cute. It's nice. I like it. And this is another element of synergy between PopOS and Elementary OS, since Pop Shop is built directly atop of Elementary's App Center. That's really cool. But I really dig the look and the branding here. And speaking of the branding, I have to hand it to System76. Their branding is tight and coherent. Now, the font choices here are on point, and they fit well with the brand. I think they're the same fonts used on their website, which is bonus points to me. Matching the branding of your operating system to your website. As a web developer, I have to give you props for that. The only thing that I'm not digging about PopOS out of the box is the background, the default background. While I love garish and neon colors, I have to say that the 2 of these colors paired together really doesn't do it for me. It's kind of a turnoff. I'm not sure why, but it's just very intense, and my eyes do not like it. The last thing that I want to talk about here, and I feel like this is a defining feature of PopOS, is the integration of the operating system into the hardware. This device was made for System76 machines, as evidenced by the driver and firmware upgrade tools that come with this system. It allows you to upgrade your firmware, your BIOS, your UEFI, I guess they call it nowadays. Get off my lawn! But essentially, it works just as you would expect. It's simple. It makes updating your drivers and your BIOS just super simple. And when I originally bought my lemur, this was way before PopOS was a thing, it came with these utilities pre-installed, and I actually had to contact support when I overwrote my operating system, and I had to get these utilities downloaded and installed as deb packages. So this is really cool that it comes with the operating system now. I'm really happy that these are here because it makes all of these problems that you would have if you didn't have these tools so much easier to fix. Updating your BIOS, updating your drivers, it's great. Now might be a good time to mention my VM experience. I wanted to use a VM because PopOS, I wanted to capture the installation process of PopOS, and honestly, the VM experience was not quite stellar. In fact, it was rather lacking. I'm not sure why that is. So the VM always seemed to boot into 800 by 600 resolution, which is not correct. I have I have a 1080p screen. Actually, I have 2 of them. And when you went into the GNOME settings panel to try and change the screen resolution, the only resolutions that were available there were 16 by 10 and 4 by 3 aspect ratios, neither of which are resolutions that my monitors support. So I ended up setting my resolution to 1920 by 1440 in order to capture this footage that you're seeing, and it's not right from my screen. It's supposed to be 1080, and that just didn't work. I didn't try installing guest editions for VirtualBox. I didn't try doing any of that stuff. I was running out of time. I need to get this video done. So what you're seeing here is footage of me trying to capture the installation and the initial setup process in a virtual machine. But yeah, overall, I mean, I know I gave them kind of a hard time on a few things here, but overall, I really like PopOS. I think PopOS is an excellent operating system. It's really cool to see what System76 has been able to do here. It's really nice that they have, you know, updated packages in their package manager over the upstreams, which is one of the reasons I'm a Manjaro user. I just want a distribution that works out of the box, but also has incredibly bleeding edge up-to-date packages. And while the packages in PopOS are not necessarily bleeding edge, some of them are more up-to-date than what the upstream provides. The problem is, you know, you're using something like an LTS of Ubuntu, and, you know, your version of KdenLive is like 8 versions out of date. And it's like, I just need something up-to-date. I need the latest features. I need the newest stuff. And PopOS actually provides some of that, and that's really cool. But you know what? I think that's going to do it for this video. If you want to sign up for the giveaway, there's going to be a link up here again. This giveaway is sponsored by System76 and Samsung. System76 is the leading provider of Linux laptops, desktops, and servers globally, as well as the creator of PopOS. They're powered by a close-knit team of talented creators who are passionate about Linux and everything tech. System76's newest edition, the Adder WS, is a workstation laptop that features a dazzling 4K OLED display. This computer and others from System76 are supercharged when equipped with Samsung's 970 EVO Plus storage drives, which boast fast read and write speeds to create a fluid experience for users. Whether you're looking for a new workstation or a dedicated gaming setup, configure your own Linux machine at system76.com. But yeah, that's going to do it. If you believe in the work that I do, you can support this show with a monthly contribution over on Patreon. You can also pick up a t-shirt like this one over on Teespring. There's a link in the description. But no matter what you do, whether you hit that like button or share this video with your friends, don't forget to subscribe to see more from me, the Linux Gamer. And as always, thanks for watching.